bad. Well, all this misandrous content is bad because it doesn't help women have a good life. All right. So anyway, that's 20 minutes on that already. Let's go ahead and move on to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Tasha K came clipped up and she clipped her the fuck. I ain't gonna lie. Fair use. If we're gonna go through it, we're gonna try to have it clipped up. She emptied the clip.
Now I know y'all gonna be mad at me. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Okay. So my platform is different. So, Dr. Bryant, I guess she's a University of Phoenix degreed psychologist, okay, specializes in relationships. And so she's been making her rounds on different platforms, giving advice to men that we've already known had issues. I mean, narcissistic men.
So she recently interviewed, I don't know, had a conversation with Nick Cannon and Cam Newton. Nick Cannon and Cam Newton are men who live alternative lifestyles. The conversation she had with both of them is based off the idea that, and this is something that's exclusive to African American men, where the worst of us, or those of us who have the worst qualities, somehow represent all of us. But when it comes to white men, rednecks and meth addicts and junkies don't represent them. People don't just say all white men are meth addicts. All white guys do meth. All white guys are on hard drugs. No, that's not what people think about when they think about white men. Because the worst of them doesn't represent them. Shout out to Angry Man. This is his concept. Genius concept. Genius. Like, what? Light skin supremacy. So I say that because, okay, so Cam Newton is someone who wants to just have children. His thing is he just wants to have children. He doesn't really care about having a committed marriage, and he doesn't believe in monogamy. So the issue with that is now his woman he's with, who's also a content creator, has not come out at any time to say that, hey, I'm unhappy in a relationship. Hey, I'm embarrassed, because I believe that she had a conversation with him, right? And then after that, there was a conversation that Corey Holcomb had with Cam Newton on the show, and Cam came out and just said, yeah, he basically admitted he volunteered, because Corey asked him a question, and he volunteered the information of, oh, well, I have had other women, but after I've been with Jasmine. So obviously he's that kind of man. Men who have that level of power or that level of influence, or basically men in that stratosphere, they live different lifestyles. People who have money live different lifestyles, y'all. But him and say Nick Cannon, who was also, I ain't gonna lie, bugged out. Son is bugged out, right? A couple years ago in 2021, he just started to impregnate a bunch of random pretty girls under the idea of, I want to have as many kids as I can because I might pass away from my lupus. And he just had always kids at one time. He's got always women pregnant at once. I feel like he has like 10 kids right now. He's bugging. But again, people who have money live very different lifestyles, and they can't represent a group. But the conversation that Dr. Bryant, had with them was to basically send a message to black men that, hey, listen here, little boy. Okay, I know you've been on social media. I know you've been doing the self-improvement. I know you've been thinking about trying to take control of your community, but at the same time, no, you need to do some more work, and I'll be here to grade your paper. Who am I? Never mind that. So, Dr. Brian has also recently been on The Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, let's jump to that. Where did I put that one at? Be careful how I click these drawings. I've been on exit out. Where is it? Where is it? No, guys, I can't find out. Oh, here we go. So this is her speaking on Corey Holcomb, because Corey Holcomb was one of the first people to say that Dr. Bryant wasn't a real doctor. Hold on a second. Let me pull it up for y'all before I play this. Excuse me.
Cheyenne Bryant, and he needs credit because he saw how she basically pasted something someone in her family did and put it on her bio. I think someone in her family was an actual doctor or something like that. A man. Anyway, we're going to get this brother name and give him his credit because he did extensive research on her. And everybody who did extensive research shows this. Because, like, if you ask the lady flat out, because a lot of people don't know how to talk to her, I'll be like, are you a licensed doctor? I want to see you slither out of that. Not with me, because I'm not regular. When you're talking to me, you know what I'm saying? I'm watching you.
Education.
I'm not listening to you. I'm watching you. You're not a registered doctor. It's been, everybody looked it up. A lot of people looked it up. You see this? This who you are. You a bust down. A lot of people don't know how to talk to her. I'll be like, are you a licensed doctor?
And let me explain on what he means by a lot of people don't know how to talk to her. First and foremost, in our community, the men in general are just, I've heard Dennis Sperling say egalitarian. And it's just certain dynamics that go on in the community, especially between men and women. It's just like hella inappropriate. So when I hear him say that, I think because of her presence, maybe, and her being an attractive woman. And also, when people come off as intelligent or when they're not yelling or using curse words and whatnot, it may not seem as though, it may not be as obvious that they're being manipulative. You know what I'm saying? Or as obvious that they're having a disingenuous conversation. Because for the most part, what her argument to Cam Newton and Nick Cannon is, you're creating broken homes on purpose and making it seem as though that. And another thing too, black women, it makes sense for black women to want to make an example out of Nick Cannon and Cam Newton, because again, they don't want to, they don't want men to really start really studying their nature as well. Just like Corey just made that point about, I'm not listening to you, I'm watching you. Dr. Bryant is another person who sent here to be an agent of basically population control. Because you got to realize, again, if someone encourages you to not have, basically stops you from having kids. Now, she's not stopping nobody from having kids, but the kind of stuff she talks about doesn't help relationships to form. Women need to become more compassionate. Women need to value good qualities in men. That's why you don't get good men. If I'm looking for a car and I don't know what makes a car a good car, or if I'm someone who, let's say, I don't make very much money, it wouldn't make sense for me to get a German car, to get a BMW, a Volkswagen, any kind of foreign car, anything that does not have cheap parts. It makes sense to get a Japanese car or something that has reasonable, something. Because if that car breaks down, I'm not going to be able to afford to get it fixed. Everything is more expensive for that kind of car, even the gas. Because that, you know what I'm saying? Or if I don't know how a good car is supposed to sound, if I don't know how the engine's supposed to sound, if I don't know what these different symbols on the dashboard mean, right? If I don't know what any of these things mean, how can I pick a good car? I'm gonna keep breaking down that car metaphor too, because I feel like for the most part, when it comes to a woman's looks is a lot like a car. That car can be in the best shape possible. You can have a banging 2000 Honda Civic in some perfect condition. but that 2000 Honda Civic cannot compete with the 2015 Honda Civic whatsoever in terms of attractiveness, none of that shit. The 2025 Honda Civic is going to shit on the 2010. You know what I'm saying? You get where I'm going with it? There's nothing wrong with that. Men are so loving. Again, there are plenty of people who don't want to give away their first car. Plenty of people who won't sell their first car. They may still have their first car, or they try to stay with their first car as long as they can. You know what I'm saying? Or some people collect this. They just like a certain car and they just keep one, right? Unless you know it died. Unless the car, people must be getting rid of cars a lot of times because the car died. You know what I mean? If you're not a person who dropped a new car, but I'm just saying. But that's kind of how your attractiveness ages. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still never going to be exactly the same. That's why you got to get it while you in your era. You know what I'm saying? The 1995 Honda Civic, when it came out that year, was hot because that was its year. You feel me? And I was thinking like, damn. But women see men as cars, and that's not an appropriate metaphor because women see men as cars in terms of, oh shit, this car not acting right. I don't like this car no more. You know what? I'm getting a new car. And that's just not how it works. Anywho, I've been thinking about that metaphor. But back to people don't know how to talk to Dr. Bryant. I think someone like that can catch people off guard. Now, she wouldn't catch me off guard because I have different experience. I have a lot of outreach experience, a lot of experience of just basically being in the community, having conversational conversations, and being able to having to help people and stay calm and whatnot. So I'm too good at thinking on my feet to not be able to have a better back and forth or not be able to call out on certain things. So for the most part, when he brings that up, he's for the most part discrediting everything about her, because another thing about Dr. Bryant is the image of her, the idea that she is the unbothered woman who's over 40 with no kids and no man. All right. That is a fantasy that a lot of black women have. You know what I'm saying? Is this woman who basically has, for the most part, failed at relationships, be okay with it. And the reason why I say it's about being okay with it is because, again, more unfortunately, more of our women can relate to that than not.
And sooner or later, her cookies get crushed.
Cookies getting crushed, my guy. So anyway, this is Dr. Bryant's response to Corey Holcomb.
Things about you, about not having your degree and where you started off as I guess working in a strip club. Is any of that stuff
You
true?
said you're not a real doctor.
You said, yeah, you're not a real doctor.
No, so I have 4 degrees. 3 are in psychology, 1's in Pan-African Studies. He doesn't have a career. So
No, you got a good comedy career. You just stand up.
She sat up there and said that Corey Holcomb does not have a career. Ma'am, if Corey Holcomb did not have a career, you wouldn't be responding to him. If he didn't have a huge, you know what? We should do? Let's go to Corey Holcomb's YouTube right now. Let's do that. Hold on a second. Corey. Mm-hmm. Oh, leave it. I'm about to feed you in a second. Give me a second. So this is Corey. I got you, baby. Give me a second. Okay, I'm about to come in now. So Corey Holcomb at this point has 416,000 subscribers. Let's look at the views for his last 3 videos. 177,000, 197,000, 224,000. 227. You understand what I'm saying? For a YouTube channel ran independently, those are monster numbers. And that's long form content. I estimate all those videos you saw made him thousands. That was a weekly show. He has a huge platform. What she's counting on is other people to believe that black men ain't hitting on nothing. She thought she was going to say that shit and just you know and that was going to be it, man. And you know that's one time Charlamagne face. You're like what talking about? Yes, he does. Who's tripping?
He stays in 5150 is a big podcast, and he does.
It's a bit. Charlemagne has a huge podcast. If he's saying that,
Stand up.
Charlamagne?
Where you
No.
be at?
What?
Where you be at?
Thank you.
Would you have a conversation with?
oh, you know what? I didn't know who said that. That was just. Oh yeah. I don't know what sound. Oh yeah. Oh my bad. I know I was playing the video.
Recording now? Like, would you go on 5150 or have him on Truth Talk?
Yeah, that was just unhilarious talking. So Corey Holcomb has called out Jess for not being funny. No one. No, I don't think. I don't know. I don't know it work like that. So you know what? I ain't gonna speak on something.
I would not. So I'm not going to address it. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to bring any attention to him or give him the fume that he needs. Because again, Charlamagne,
She just said I don't want to give him the fume that he needs. Ma'am, I think you mean fuel. This is defensive language because when people start getting defensive, they start making mistakes. That's how you know someone's not having a genuine conversation with you. And I'm saying also, if someone asks you, would you go talk to that person and you say no, that's another way of ducking the smoke. But let me take a quick break. I'll be right back, y'all. All right, we back, y'all.
I hear what you're saying, but he has a total failed career. Total failed career as a comedian. Has he made it to any place past a podcast of a group of men who agree with just a rhetoric that's just a very negative, distorted narrative of Black people in general, especially women? Kevin Samuels spent only 2 years doing what Corey does and had a better career than Corey. Corey been doing it for 40, 50 years.
So I'm you know what, y'all heard it, right? You heard it? I'll still oh, what like I said before, what she's relying on. Hold on a second.
And sooner or later, her cookies get crushed.
She getting her cookies crushed. Okay, so like I said before, she's completely wrong about that. Corey is very successful, and also let me tell you something. If you want to know how somebody doing, a lot of times you can tell when it comes to celebrities. Tell about what they got on. You can tell what they got on. You can tell if the shit look new. All right. Every time I see Corey, I mean, first of all, he's an older cat, so he's going to like to wear different shit. You know what I mean? That nigga had a fedora on with a sweatsuit. He looked too comfortable. He wearing too many hats. You understand me? But again, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, she also, like I said before, she represents that fantasy of basically being able to redefine yourself in terms of what makes your life attractive. You know what I mean? And again, more and more women are single so that they can relate to a Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. You know what I mean? But here's the issue though. She hustling. She just getting the bag, man. She getting to the paper. So Tasha K about to empty the clip. Fair use. Let's get into this shit, man. So make sure y'all have some context. You understand? Where is that, man? Go ahead, Tasha.
Cam Newton, Nick Cannon. I mean, do we really need anybody to tell us that these men are, just ain't shit, right? And so when it comes to relationships, and so she's been like I said, doing her thing. I don't know if y'all who's a part of TashaKLive.com. If you're a part of TashaKLive.com, disregard this because I want to kind of give some backstory here because I know a lot of y'all about to be irritated with this commentary here. Reestablish herself. She's been trying to be seen in a certain light, and so she needed a platform and a subject matter in order to get into that space because the red pill, blue pill space, everybody.
I ain't gonna lie. Hold on, man. Let me go ahead and stop the drum real quick, man. Tasha K looking all right right here. I ain't gonna lie. She looking kind of fine right here. You know. I like him chocolate. I had to say that real quick. Shout out to Tasha. Shout out to you, sis. Respect to your husband.
He's been seeing it, the relationship space, the Kevin Samuel space, the Kendra G space, all of that is booming right now. And so this is where the money is, especially.
So I'm gonna stop it right there. It's because done eating. Okay, give me a second. I'm getting ready to do a little cook. All right, give me a second, okay?
Come and get me, baby.
Let's get to it. So when you want to understand why something is happening, always follow the paper. The rebrand is real. Listen, the trophy wife is trying to do a rebrand right now. Well, I don't have much to say about that. I just don't have much to say about the subject. Maybe I'll figure it out. But basically, it's, you know, we couldn't figure out why she erased every video she had on her channel and just left up the video where she basically makes all these wild allegations against her ex, well, I guess her husband, her current husband. I don't know. You know what I mean? And when she goes on the Harley Initiative podcast, shout out to Crimson, she did a brilliant breakdown. The mask started to drop. She came there with the fake tears, came there, and basically people start pointing out, oh, she's trying to rebrand as a like spiritual or Christian content creator. And trying to take her audience, you know what I mean, and bring them into, I guess, basically a different content space. Or take the platform she has and try to get exposure with, you know, I guess basically a new group of people, right? So it's the rebrand. So Cheyenne Bryant, you know, has been on TV before. You know, she was on Teen Mom apparently. I'm not sure if Tasha got there yet. So, but she's trying to rebrand as a relationship expert because relationship content is, again, like she said, very profitable. But not many people are in the space like the Six Paths. When the Six Paths gets in front of you, right? I have experience with several different populations in real time, in real life. I have run an agency where I work with special needs people who are adults all the way up to in their 80s as a case manager, as well as a field worker. I have worked with the basically the population of youth or basically youth who are exiting from the care of DCP&P, formerly known as DIFAS, Child Protective Care. Those people, those young people, I guess if they don't go back into their parents' custody, they receive a stipend to assist them with their monthly expenses. At a certain age, it stops. The program I was a part of was the housing program where you help them get an apartment, help them stay in their apartment, right? I've done that. I've been a substitute teacher. I've been a preschool teacher. I've also been basically faith-based. I've been doing faith-based activities and with leadership roles, putting together events, doing outreach, you know what I mean, all types of stuff since I was 19 years old, as well as being a battle rapper and being around other battle rappers, you know what I mean? So when I talk to you about stuff, and also, you know, being educated, being a caseworker, doing other stuff, being a case manager, I've done so many different things. So when I talk about stuff, I have experienced human beings on so many different levels, and I've experienced so many other human beings on so many different levels. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm able to come to you with a certain perspective because of the experience. I have so much experience. So when I'm talking about stuff, it's not just based off of what I think is right. Because I ain't gonna talk. When Dr. Bryant was talking earlier, she really wasn't saying shit. The first thing she did was try to discredit that man. And she really felt as though she didn't want to give him no light. She went as far as saying, I don't want to make his platform bigger and give him more shine. Ma'am, you are no one. You cannot say it about someone who has an established platform. We just found out who he was the other day. That's what I learned about you. We wanted to have that stupid conversation with Cam Newton. What are you talking about? Don't women want to be with him? They like him. She's also coming, but she comes behind. She's here to basically clean up after the women that Nick Cannon is with and the women that Cam Newton is with, because she knows she's also of the mind that we don't want these niggas thinking that y'all can do what y'all want. We don't want you niggas to understand that we like these kind of men. You're not tripping when you see that shit. You know what I mean?
Come and get me, baby. Donate donations, gifts, more gifts.
And I got more gifts. You understand? I got more gifts.
Come and get me,
Baby.
In this particular category, and so she is now branding herself as that. So she's gone from, counseling teenagers and being on different reality shows to now specifically talking about things that people are interested in, which is, am I going to be able to find a husband? What's wrong with the men out here? Black women still can't find a man, all this and that there. And so it's a great lane to get in, especially if you're trying to make some money, you're trying to really stick out. You're beautiful, you're marketable, because you have to be beautiful in order to sit on these platforms with these supposed high profile men. Okay, that's what y'all call them, high profile men. And really spit advice and drag them at the same time. And so she did that on Cam's show. Now with Cam Newton's show, he was doing her girlfriend a favor.
So there you have it. That's how this whole thing came to be. From the kindness of black men. You understand? Come on, man. Come on. Yo, y'all starting to make niggas think that they shouldn't do nothing else nice for you. Cam Newton allowed her to come on that show and basically create a whole rebrand off of his back, trying to make him look bad and make him look messy. Those women are okay with the situation. Y'all have to stop, because but a part of it is, she knows that every woman don't deserve everything. Men don't think that way. Men don't move like that. Men don't feel like every man deserves everything. Men feel as though, for the most part, we all deserve basic respect. But we don't just feel like, all men deserve. No, it's aside from the basics. This human being treated like a human being. That's what we all, for the most part, believe. Not just it's rankings. Everyone, I'm like, so who do you think has been the sex workers of the earth? There's always been mistresses, side chicks, sex workers, always people. So why do you think they're okay with that shit? Because they're okay with it. That's a human being. That's what they want to do. They're all right with it. But again, she has come into the space to interfere, to stop y'all from basically. She understands that even though men don't, for the most part, want to get married no more anyway, she understands that what's beginning to be exposed is that the most modern women are okay not being married. They want to be married mostly for the contract and basically being able to sign into a contract where she could potentially get, listen, y'all can make this stupid ass argument about, oh, well, you don't make that much money, so there's nothing for you to lose. Nigga, if you are married and you get divorced, yes, there was always a chance you could be paying alimony and paying for her to go. And then paying for her to potentially spend that money on other men. Again, that can happen. Now, I'm not saying it's a thing that you should focus on, but yes, that's the thing. Regular men pay alimony. Regular men pay excessive child support. That if it only affected rich men, it wouldn't be something that so many men identify with. Okay, like, man. Sure, I went to court and got joint custody of my son. They ain't playing them goddamn games. Go ahead, Tasha. I'm sorry, I keep stopping you.
So Cam Newton was best friends with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's girlfriend. And so, like I said,
and that's how I know Cam Newton is freaking crazy. Anytime like men have like female best friends, it's one thing to say good friends, but she made a point to say best friends. So I'm gonna just assume you're telling the truth. And they really are the best of friends. Yo.
Said Cheyenne's been trying to get into this relationship space and it hasn't been clicking. So she needed the perfect subject matter. So her girlfriend, and I'm talking about her girlfriend.
So another bombshell. Many of us did not know that, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is lesbian. So, but when women get to a certain age and they take enough L's, this mostly comes from when women try to control things that they can't really control. I'm not saying that she's like a slave to anyone or anything like that. But when women get into trying to control things that they can't control, first of all, that's for everyone. But when they do that, what they start doing is you start having to warp. Basically, you start becoming more and more delusional, right? So what usually happens is two things. She probably has already done this. When women get into their 30s, actually, especially whether it's early 30s or not, whatever, a lot of times women run out of options early. And one or two things or both things happen. They either wind up dating a guy significantly younger than them, maybe three, a guy significantly younger, or they become a lesbian, or they go find a son, they go find a nigga to adopt. You know what I'm saying? They go find a man that needs somewhere to stay. All right, and it just get to where you were just all the way on sale. You were 80% off. Okay, if they lucky, you know what I'm saying, he'll be a pipe laid homosexual. You know what I mean? And sometimes they ain't that lucky. But that's basically what's going on here. Let me tell you something. Anytime you are a straight woman and then you become a lesbian, I gotta say, if it was a dude, right? Like, if I were a dude and I had a bunch and I had some bad relationships and whatnot, relationships are never so bad. As I'm saying, breakups are traumatic for everyone. Watch how you break up with people, man. You can at least write that nigga someone a letter. Don't ever ghost somebody. You know what I'm saying? That you were. It's one thing maybe if maybe I went on a date, I guess. But if you cannot ghost someone you're in a relationship with, you can't ghost them and try to ghost them. You feel me? But oh man, shit's crazy, man. It's crazy. Relationships, and when they end, that's why you shouldn't be in so many. It's really good to just be in one and just stick with it. Because when people try to have a relationship and then meet other people, for the most part, women, they can't help it. They bring their past issues to the next relationship. That's why it's best to just stay with that one. Try to pick them good, get some help, and just stick with that one guy because you stuck with him anyway. Because again, that's why modern women, I wind up having way more partners trying to find this guy who doesn't exist. And it's because you were like a child that's been emancipated. No matter how smart a 16-year-old is or how mature they are, they cannot raise themselves and create a future for themselves at 16. And imagine a society where you can get emancipated as early as 12 and then trying to imagine them saying, you know what? I'm tired of being on my own. I think it's time for me to get adopted. You know what I'm saying? I'm 19 now. I think it's time for me to get adopted. I turn 20 years old next year. I think let me go out there and speak to some agencies and whatnot so I can go ahead and get adopted. But the thing is though, like I'm not trying to be adopted by no household. But listen, no religion, you understand, and the combined income got to be at least 175,000. No arguments, no grief.
Come and get me, baby.
All right, man, we're coming up on an hour, man.
A girlfriend, yes, ended up getting her the gig. Cam booked her based off of his relationship with her girlfriend, okay? And did not expect for Dr. Cheyenne, after he gave her the platform, to turn around and try to diss him on his own platform, okay? And so that happened. And so she put all Cam business out there and everything. He was like, whoa. So that's why there's long-standing beef, and Cam and his friend, which is her ex-girlfriend, are no longer friends. The whole bunch just broke up. So the girlfriend's no longer with Dr. Cheyenne. You know what I'm saying? Because she was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you're ruining my relationship that I have. This is a business relationship. But she literally just stepped on everybody's back and just made her presence known and was like, I'm here. Deal with it. If I got to lose some pussy, The hell with it. I get more. There's a lot.
And listen, I said before, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant represents the fantasy, one of the fantasies of Black women. And one part of that fantasy is you can do whatever you want and it doesn't matter. The consequences do not matter. Just do whatever you have to do to get what you want and to be happy and to get ahead. And that's the American dream for you. We can't keep allowing these kind of people to come into this space and basically do population control. People like her, people like Shira Seven, people like what's the other one? Prince Ella. John, Real Talk with Yanni. All these people, y'all all basically your content influences women to not form families because they're looking for people who don't exist. And also, most importantly of all, you can't have a peaceful existence without a truthful existence. And one part of having a truthful existence is acknowledging the nature of things. Nature meaning how things actually work. I've lost in my life mostly from not understanding my own nature, understanding the nature of women and men and people in the world. When I was able to accept what I can't control, which is nature, I became happier. I'm more peaceful. I don't come into a conversation fighting you to be on my side. Don't get me wrong. I like a little debate, but I don't come into a conversation just to discredit. You understand? I'm gonna let Tasha cook a little more. We almost at the hour mark, man. I gotta get on to the next subject. But I want to do this show real quick, man. All right, here we go.
Not out here to get, okay? And so, she's been out here pissing, a lot of people off. And Cam specifically took it personal because he was like, you wouldn't even have this platform. You wouldn't be on the Breakfast Club. You wouldn't be doing all of this if it wasn't for me. And then Nick Cannon, of course, because he's just bleeding for validation. I could have told you, that's where narcissists need attention. They need validation. They need security. They need to be praised all the time. Dr. Cheyenne to tell you that, and she's telling you that from a place of because University of Phoenix don't give you that type of experience. It's only giving her.
I thought when she first said University of Phoenix that she was just saying, oh, she has an all-on degree. She actually has a degree for the University of Phoenix. Don't get me wrong. No one's saying that the University of Phoenix doesn't exist. We're not saying that you're stupid for going to the University of Phoenix. An online degree is good for like if you already have a career, you got mad experience, and you just need the degree. You're an attractive candidate, you know what I'm saying? But if you are someone that's trying to compete in the job market, it's no need to even do that shit no more because most schools have an online program. Especially for graduates and masters, you can do a completely online program and not have to go in person. No problem. Because most of your master's programs is independent study and work anyway. It's not a bunch of necessarily sitting through lectures anyway. You know what I mean? But what some people were saying in the comments was that I graduated from there and people always want to talk as if it's not a real place and this and that. The reality is this, and somebody wrote in the comment section, you say, if you go into an interview and there's two other candidates there and they have degrees from Ivy League schools, and I thought of NYU because that's something I heard years ago from a professor, a sociology professor, and I think I asked him about people basically getting doctorates and masters online, and he said, listen, I have a few friends who did that and it didn't work out well, you know what I'm saying, because they weren't able to get a job with that education. He said, we know if we're going in for an interview and there's 4 or 5 candidates and here I come with my master's from NYU, you can't compete with that with an online degree. Not the same. It don't look the same. It don't sound the same. I graduated from NYU. You graduated from Phoenix. But ironically, and again, no one's saying it's not real, but this woman come to find out it's not an actual doctor. And had it not been for these people doing this research, she would have carried on and people would have looked at it as she represents the strong, independent Black woman who has money. and who can come in here and get control over these niggas. So many words. But that's not the case here. She's another person taking advantage of the dysfunction of the community. And also, she cannot lead you to a happier life either. You cannot avoid seeking out the leadership of another man or of a man. Sorry.
And sooner or later, her cookies get crushed.
All right.